Gaat dit goed? Hello everybody, how are you doing this evening? I'm doing fine, the kids are in bed, so I have finally time to get on with the live stream. Awesome. Today I want to talk about the community post that Igor did about the conversion pack. I wanted to talk about it actually, but yeah, there wasn't a way for me to get up to the hype to the teaser. So quickly after the message he sent on the 31st. Wait, let me switch screen. So he sent a message in the Facebook group on January 31st that there's a new conversion pack for Woocommerce coming soon, and I hope that I could hype up something for today, but unfortunately he has already released it, or luckily I can say, right? Here we have the update. Zoom in a little bit. There's some big changes that have been done. It's mainly concentrated on the improving UI stability and WooCommerce add-on. They now created a conversion pack to WooCommerce, and we will look into that later on. They improved some things. You can have a buy now button, very quick, a stock progress bar, a real and a fake one. So for all you who have a WooCommerce website who want to tease people to buy quickly because else it will run out, you now have a way of doing it. A free shipping bar option, combo products and bundles, and tabs. And there are also general UI improvements to the panels and the balance between unique and native look, and that's really nice. And there's also a new section in the library, FSE Templates. We will post templates here for inner pages, system pages, query loop templates. So it's a done for you section, and that's pretty nice. I'm very keen on seeing what they are going to create because I really love the design. Greenshift delivers in general. The designer is spot on. He's very good. So let's take a look at what he says in his post update. It's a major 8.0 update. I don't know if anybody has seen this, and there's a conversion pack. Includes a buy now button. There was also a link to the examples, if I remember correctly. Let's see if we can find it. These are all the updates. Conversion tag. Here we have it. So the product combos, free shipping bar. These are all that he mentioned in his post. So for the product combos, if you buy these, similar to bundles, but they have a bit of different design. So you can buy a combo of stuff like shoes and a jacket, or shoes and a watch, and you will get the discount. So those are combos. Linked product section when you edit product data. And you have product bundles, so you can set up, if you buy this, you will get this amount of discount. And then here there's also some other things. Ooh, and the FSE template library. Let's look into that as well. So here's the design for the tabs. You can switch them from tabs to toggles to even sections. And this is what I'm used to in the re-up theme. Then you have also these sections. And what I like about the sections one is that it's really easy for people just to scroll down to see everything at once. I think it's also good for search engine optimization, although this could be just hidden and be available in text as well. And the section links, items separately on page, stop, but all items separate section. And you can change the designs, you can manage the custom tabs, Oh, you can even create custom tabs. That's nice. Just like in Rehab theme. So Greenshift is getting some Green Hub-ish things. Rehab, sorry, some Rehab theme things in Greenshift. So that's nice for all your WooCommerce creators. They also have a sliding panel where you open. You have a shopping cart at the side panel. Here we have an example of everything. So one we didn't. So here's the shopping cart with get free shipping. In progress bar, and this can be done fake or with a countdown block. And you can choose to do a real or a fake one. This is the buy now button that you can very fast buy. Quick buy. And here's also quick buy. So here we see examples. So here's the quick buy button. And when I press it, I hope I will be, you go to checkout immediately. So you don't have to go to the process of view it in cart and view it there and do it this and do that. And here we have a nice bundle option. Let's see. So you can select what you want to add to the bundle, and then you will save a amount percentage. So this is a very nice example of that. And this is the side panel that you have your shopping cart. I was hoping that I could also see the progress bar on how far you are. With the free shipping. I'm sorry, I was distracted a little bit. But yeah, there we go. There was also some FSE templates available. Let's see where we can find it. It's in the template section. So let's not spoil this any further and let's take a look. So that's it for the update from Greenshift itself. I do want to look at the templates they now offer. I mean, they have, nice. So all the templates that we've seen so far are also in here. You can preview them. So very nice sections that you can use. Although I do like the sections being available, what I am wondering if this will work well for every website, because it doesn't feel like it's a streamlined design, a full page like a landing page or whatsoever. But I do know that they are working on that as well. A few months back, Igor sent a few examples of the design that could be there. And here we have now FSE templates. Let's see. Ooh, and my account section. So, I think this is just a placeholder for now. But here you can see your orders, your account details, and that sort of things. So that's pretty nice. Because I have to be logged into my account, but yeah, I don't want to. So, a lot of things coming. I'm very excited for this one. I'm finally getting the pre-made stuff in, and that will be awesome. Also some wireframe. I also saw someone in the Facebook group mentioning that they wanted to create some designs for the next couple of weeks. And perhaps I will help them out as well. Just also to get some experience in with Greenshift. And yeah, why not? It's just fun to do, right? So, and there was one thing Igor mentioned, and perhaps you have seen it and perhaps you didn't. It was in the WooCommerce section. I was asking about Figma to Greenshift. He was working on something for Figma and that will export to Greenshift or something. And it's coming. It's coming pretty soon. It's also ready as alpha, he mentioned, which means that we can almost taste it, actually. But it will be announced separately. I'm very excited for this one because this will make our life possibly easier going from a design to a full-on working website. That would be amazing. So I'm really excited about this one. You don't know how awful it can be from time to time to just create a web design and then trying to translate the design to a website itself. There's just so much going on, and every company tries to solve it. I mean, I saw a YouTube video a few weeks back from Jamie Marsland, a Gutenberg expert on YouTube. If you want to see videos on Gutenberg, find them there. And he showed a video that Canva translates a design to a website, but everything's absolute positioned, and I really dislike it. So I'm really curious how the integration of the Greenshift team will be. So very excited to see that one. Yeah, and that's it for the updates this week. Let's see. One more thing. And they just started to create a menu block. So he was trying to gather some ideas of the menu block, how you can create it and what you need. And there was a couple of comments like responsive options or some variations for underline, just to making the life easier when creating a navigation block. If you have some ideas, I will put this in the chat, and later on I will put it on the description down below as well. So if you have some input for Greenshift on how they can create or improve their menu block, please leave a comment there. It's so nice that Igor is so much involved with the community and also asks questions on what can we do to improve the experience for Greenshift. It's just insane how involved he is, and he is also thinking about the business side. They're also creating those things. I really am curious how big their team is, because it's just insane in how much they do actually. But yeah, that was for my excitement. So that was the Greenshift update. Now I have a oops, I did something wrong update. Last week I was playing around and this navigation didn't work at all. And it was because I forgot something in my snippets, in my font CSS snippet, because the fonts weren't working. I didn't close the style. And when you don't close your elements and it is active, you will see that the JavaScript won't work. So it won't be loading JavaScript. So if you ever encounter that suddenly your website doesn't work or doesn't work properly, like you see right here, it's probably due to a HTML mistake or JavaScript mistake. So, you know, let's save and deactivate because I don't need this one anymore. The second mistake I make was that my website didn't show the fonts in the front end, but also not in the back end. You can watch in my previous stream where I did it wrong. I will leave a comment in a card up there somewhere. So where you don't see your fonts in the Gutenberg editor, you probably have this problem that in your settings general, the URL of your web address and site address doesn't have HTTPS at the start, but HTTP. And your website has HTTPS. I just copy and paste this so you can see. So here you see that it has HTTPS, and if this one is HTTP, that means there's a mismatch and the links will not be secure, so your fonts will not be shown. So Eagles said to me that I didn't do this, I changed this, and then you have to re-upload your fonts in settings. and then upload them again. So you have to remove them and then upload again, and then they work just fine. So those were my oopsie moments. I can actually deactivate this one now and remove it because we don't need it anymore. The less plugins we need, the better. So that's for the update for what I did wrong previous. And as you can see now, everything works. And also in the WordPress dashboard, I said backend, but it's the WordPress dashboard. It also works. So here we have the navigation bar. We see something wrong, but it's just in the front end, so it's in the back in the dashboard, so it's fine. So let's change this. Centered. We set it to not be controlled at all. Disable touch functionality. Click element, will slide to this element. So that's it for the updates I want to share. Now go to the second part when we continue our journey to recreate the Drive Capital website. And now we're at this section where the images come in. It looks like they are just the container is fixed and changing in size, and the image is scaled down. So let's see if we can remake that one. So we add, I guess, a container wrapper, and then we add, now we can do this better, I guess, with CSS grid. So let's add a grid in there, 3 columns, and then we add an image. So these images are free to use. You can find them on the CodeDrops website where I find them as well. Let me quickly get my navigation bar. Also for this one, I will put it in the chat and in the description down below. So you will find it in the resources part. Let's just add some random pictures. We can make them black and white soon. The second one. And the third one. And am I going too fast for stuff or not? Let me know. Let's open this up. So here we are. Let's see what we can do. Let's first change do the simple stuff, right? Make it grayscale. And a little contrast. Increase the brightness a little. Yeah, that looks good. It should be possible to just copy the styles. There we go. Everything has the same styling. Now, how we go on to the next section, we should add a spacing as well. Luckily, the last time we've added a variable spacing, which makes our lives a little bit easier. When we change it in one place, it's done. It's changed. So how are we going to do this? I guess we would like to have an interaction layer. And interaction layers is a fancy way. I will leave a thingy up there as well, a card that you can just click on to see my video on the interaction layers. So you can select a trigger. We want to trigger when this enters viewport. We want it from the top. No, perhaps bottom is better, right? So 85% of the viewport, 250. I need to really search how this exactly works. I didn't know if you set it to center view, it will be in the center of the view that the changes will happen. If you set it to top point, I assume that it will happen when it's on the top part of your viewport. And we say 85%, it will be roughly down here when the changes happen. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, let's enter a threshold and enter a action. What do we want to happen? We want to set a CSS variable or property to a custom selector of height to 100%. And it should be not from the sliders, from the container. We want the first container. Yeah. Insert selector. We want this one to grow to 100%. So that means that we have to start at 0. So we set a height also of percentage 0. Can it be done this way? Or do we also need to add something else? Like a class for this? And then we set the spacing to hidden, so it will not show now. And I wonder, in theory, this should be it. So let's have a look. It seems like it doesn't work as I would expect. So let's see what's actually happening, right? So the image is the right size. So I guess it doesn't change right now. Let's put that one there and that one there. Let's see what happens if we change this to 100. Yeah, this actually is doing what I would expect. So now the question is, when is this triggered? And quite possibly, so there are some sirens going on. So I don't know if you hear it. Sorry for that. Let's see. We set it to 50%, then it's on halfway point. I would expect this container to change. Look again, it is the right container. And we want to have a variable or property. Yes, we wanted to have a CSS value of 100%. And now we have triggered it to the 50% mark. So we can add a container to be sure that it will be triggered of 100 view height. Height pixels. It doesn't seem like it is changing. And my U block is disabled, so I don't know what's happening. Sure, it should be triggered somewhere, right? Or do I also need to set something else? Did I forget something? Let's see. There we go. We have to select the container again. So this is a little bit tricky part with the interaction layers. It's very powerful and very nice to use, but it's getting... did I set it on something different? Yes, I did. To enter the viewport, I want this variable to change, but we can also do it a different way. So let's remove that one. And let's just do it on the container we want to change. So you can click the container, interaction layer, and the interaction layer there. When enter on viewport, it has a root margin. Let's set it to center because I've seen it working that way. And add an action again to attach. Can also attach a class, but we're just going to lazy route to just see and verify that this is working as expected. And we will set the attribute of height to 100%. And we don't add a custom selector. It means it will add it to this section. And this section is the section that we set to 0%. So my expectation is that when this hits the half of the viewport, the animation will happen, and we should see something change. Let's see if we change this to bigger height. So I expect that one to change and that there will be an attribute added. But I don't see it happening. Let's see if we open it up like this. Nope, it's not changing. So that's something I would expect to happen actually. Trigger, data trigger on the view, root margin with a threshold. And if we set that one, just remove that one and hit save. No, different one. Now it's a different kind of comma, you see? Perhaps that's the change that needed to be done. No, I don't understand why it's not adding the value. Can also add a custom selector just to be sure, and the custom trigger. What you do here is that you trigger this event to happen on this selector, which in our case is the first box, and also it will change this selector for it. So let's see if it works now. And I don't see anything happening. Yeah, maybe that's something I can figure out off screen then, because I would expect it to work right now. But unfortunate. Can also see there's some animation we can set, a custom animation, and we At least we can set the animation happening from the zoom in. So let's see how that looks. Still have this one on 0, so I am not surprised that it doesn't show anything. There we go. So the animation is there, but we need to figure out why the interaction layer isn't working right now. I guess something is still missing there. But yeah, let's see if we can fix it off screen. Let's add the animations on this one as well. I think I know why. Transition. We need to add it as a local because it's on this block. Transition. I don't think it's spelled right, but it doesn't matter for now. Let's change order, shadow, spacing, background, size. There we go. We set this one to 0%, and we also want to have an animation. So you should set this one. 0.5. I don't know if these are seconds or milliseconds. It could be that I didn't set this one and then the interaction layer doesn't work. Now we set it on the image. I don't want it to be on an image. I want it to be on a container. And because we set it local, it doesn't work with this one. So we need to add the transition. Transition. Now I want to check if I spelled right. Translation. Transition. So that's the correct spelling. Sorry for taking your time for this. Let's add a transition. And it should be local. And we want the size to start from 0%. I think this was the mistake I made. Creative. And you have to set a value for the transition. If you don't see transitioning happening. So if we now press save, and now I assume it should work. I don't know if the animation then still works, but let's see that in a moment. Now let's add a trigger when it enters viewport and it is in the center of the viewport. Let's have a default threshold. Then we want to have a CSS property height of 100%. And do we need to set the position here as well? Are we able to? Order, radius with a hidden. So what is weird is that I don't see this reflected. But hey, let's see what's happening. So now I see something changing here. Is this because the animation that now still doesn't work? Let's remove this one. Select animation, reset animation, and hit save again. Body transition of 0. And the transition value we set, 0.5 seconds, so it should be quick. And still I don't see it triggered. But we're not giving up yet. Let's see. Let's see this property. And I was expecting that it would be changing this one, but apparently it doesn't. Let's select transition, insert selector. That's awkward. It still doesn't change. And I worked on the interaction layers before and it did work. Doesn't mean that there needs to be a set value. Else it doesn't transition. Let's see. Right, attribute. If we change the border to 1 pixel solid and then red. I'm curious if this does something. If it doesn't, then I will forgo this for now, but we need to use interaction layers later on, so it is a bit troublesome that I don't understand what's happening right now. Height 100%. I would expect that one to work right now. So yeah, then let's just move on with the next section. It's this section with the text. And what does it do for mobile? It collapses to the second line. And there it goes back. But also the underline is then removed. So let's do that one then. Add after. Let's add a CSS grid of containers because they are nicely aligned. Open drive. It's like 60% or something, right? So let's do 2 columns. And then we want to change the grid. It's actually good. Then we want to resize. Is this one for bigger? 1/3, 2/3. Looks about right. The apply template and then add a heading of our story, if I remember correctly. Oh. Then add afterwards a button. This is now a very big button, so let's make it smaller. Mini doesn't look very mini to me, if you ask me. I think extra small would make sense. And then here we have a text paragraph. And we just put in. Let's use my tool that I bought a while back called Zimmwriter. It's an AI tool, very fun and easy to use. So I will write a short prompt. Write a paragraph in the style of Dr. Seuss. For this being an amazing design experience using Greenshift. Now, if we select everything and we use our magic command Ctrl+1, you will see that Zimmwriter will write our magic for us. And a nice paragraph in the style of Dr. Seuss will show up shortly. The land of green shifts. Nice. It's a nice looking paragraph. I do think their line height is very different and their font size is much bigger. So let's see. Yeah, it's way bigger. So let's change those. I think it would make sense to change them in the stylebook. So let's go to the backend and stylebook. Ah, nice. They've now added a body color for your body background. And he was also talking about adding a section for link, but I don't see that right now. But it's fine. Let's see. Is this text? It's actually bigger than text, right? So maybe we should change it in here for now. And if we come across other elements where they are also used, we can change it then. Let's change the size. Let's make it fluid. And change the line height to be small. Ooh, this is way too small. One. Are they also using... Does it look the same? Which font is this? Have a look. Stuff regular, so it's the header font they're using there as well. So let's change that one as well. And then we need to go in the side panel and change the font we would like to use. Archivo. There, looks a little bit better. You think the line height could be better, and now they have some kind of spacing going on here, and that is a CSS thing you can add. Don't know if they have used it. Normal. Let's search for it. CSS text indent. Write yourself. So here we have an indent happening. I don't recall this one being available in Greenshift, so let's have a look in the settings. Maybe in advanced, letter spacing, break wrap, text border, vertical, variable options, cursor. Doesn't look like it. At least it's not in the typography settings, maybe it's somewhere else, but then I couldn't think of which place makes sense. Box shadow, text spacing would be also enable inline width. A border, the size, highlight text, that's the content itself. Animations, transform and transitions, interaction layers, position, responsive, anchor, visibility settings. No, I don't think they are in there, so we can set it ourselves. Already see changing. 3 p.m. p.m. Now have a look again at their website. a little less text. And I think they set this one to fewer height, but I think the fluid solution is better. I think this looks better for this font. So you can copy and paste everything you would like to, but I think it's always best to see what kind of design you use and what kind of font you use and try to design across your font, although you're recreating something. I mean, we're missing out the exact font they are using. So yeah, try to adapt. I saw that the heading wasn't aligned in the top one, so I changed this one. And we need to set the margin for left and right to have the same spacing as we have set for the other sections as well. Now just waiting for it to update. I press save, right? Oh, it's gone dark. Let's see. We did set the settings. Let's just save it again. And refresh. Hey, what changed? Why are you not showing? Why are you black? Why are there two settings for my colors? And why is this one used? All right. We can override it here, but I want to use my colors. And this one should be that one. And if this doesn't work, I guess we have to change it in our styling settings here. Colors, text. But we don't see our custom colors. So let's grab those. I wanted to not use this, but yeah, if we need it, we need it, right? So have a second color. And the second color is this one. And we have our main color, and that's the black one. Black one. Done. I guess it's already in there. Color 3, black. Yes. So let's change the color to be the white one. And now it doesn't matter. It's now showing up. Let's see if we need to adjust the spacing to the top part. I guess a little bit of spacing could help, right? And so let's add that. EM like 3. Ooh, even more. 50. Oh. 10 EM. And now we have to add a border. Can we do this already in the quick options? I guess not. So we have to go to our block settings. And then for the first container, we'll add a border bottom and 1 pix. And we pick our favorite default color. And for the second block, we will do the same. So we go to border, bottom, 1 pix, it's solid. Then also the default value. Hit save. And let's see if the border is now added. Oh, there we go. I think it can use some spacing there as well. And usually the default spacing of 1 EM in the bottom works well, right? So let's add that one. It's a margin, but it should be a padding because it's inside. And automatically this one is changed too, but just to make it consistent, I will set this one to 1 EM as well. So there we go, our second section. Now this is way bigger. So we can change that one to be way bigger as well. And I guess this will be then set for viewport, view width. But because we have more text, I think this one looks nicer. But our heading can be much bigger. So let's change that one to have a very big size. Gigantic. Gigantic. Sorry for my Dutch pronunciation. And there we go. We have our second section. Our story. Nice. And the button is there. It's getting along. I will look after the stream. I will look at this to see if I can fix it. Let's go to the next section. And that will be this one. Here we have a nice image scrolling. When you hover over a section, there's some text coming up and a section as well. So let's add those. Before we add, do we add a container? And in the container, so I try to dissect what we need to do. Because I expect this to be a container with the text in there. And this also to be a separate container. As you can see, we can hover outside. But when we hover the text and the container on top of it right now, it will stay in place. So expect this to be a container. And when you hover, it triggers the next one. Now doing this in CSS would be much easier, but let's see how we can do this in here as well. So what do we want to do? I think we can add a row so that we can center our content in the middle, but that can also be done in the container as well, right? Just add a advanced text and put this to center. Then we have to change our size later on at Lambda, but I'm Dutch, so I'm going to do state my city, and that's Eindhoven. If you didn't know, I live in Eindhoven. So if you ever are in Eindhoven or do live in Eindhoven as well, please come and say hi. I would love to see you guys. Let's see, how do we do this? We first need to change this section to use our different font, our Antonio. Then we need to capitalize this and then change the size to be huge. Boss even looks too tiny. Losses, that looks better. And then we change our font height. Now you see there's less spacing. Now we need to change the size. The width, we want it to have a width of 100% and a max width of 8 characters. 9, 10. 10 characters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess there's a magic one there as well. And then we need to set our spacing to auto, that it will center align. I wonder what it will do. So at afterwards, hey, where's our text now? It's gone. Where's our text? What? Our text looks gone. Where has it gone off to? All right, let's add it again. So we add text, advanced, Eindhoven. Doesn't it like me to add Eindhoven to it, I guess. And we want it to auto and have at least a padding of spacing left and right. I think that does make sense. And then we want our font to be Antonio. Antonio. Our font line height should be 1 EM. And for the presets, we want this to be boss. Then add afterwards a container. And this will be our hover container. So it will have a blue background. Background options of our new blue. Then we add text in here. Green light. I don't know what this text means. Is that a special district in Atlanta? So capitalize this one. You can just duplicate this one, right? Duplicate. Put it in there. And let's put the landmarks from Eindhoven in here. But it is scrolling, so it's similar to this one. So we should use a slider. So we add before a slider. We just be lazy and copy and paste this one. Copy. There we go. There we have our slider. Delete. We don't need it this much slides. So where can we set our slides? Items per row. Hide. Remove. We don't need all of you. Bye-bye. Ooh, this is getting annoying pretty fast. Yeah, let's go on. Remove. 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 Let's keep a few that we can still have this effect. Remove. Move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say 5 should be enough. So there we go. Delete this one. And in slide 1, we have now a paragraph. We would like to change this one to be our text container, advanced text. And that should look the same as this one. So we can copy the attribute styles, paste it in, and type in a1. It's a landmark in Eindhoven. It's pretty nice actually. It's like a flying saucer. Let's see if we can zoom in more. So this is the place. It's now a museum. You can visit some expos in there. As you can see here on the left one. Oh, nice. I've never been inside, by the way. Should have a look someday. Oh, we can already see it moving. I guess we need to change sizes for each slide now, right? So let's just duplicate this one. And then we know how much we need to change. Also a landmark from Eindhoven. I'm going to say that every time because I think you get the gist of it. It's just landmarks. Remove that one. And change the contents. Now it's the Admirant. Change. There we go. And right S. Also very famous one. Move. And we also have the Dutch Design Week. In short, it's called DDW. Dutch Design Week. And we also have something famous, and that's called Glow. So there we are. Now I am curious how this looks on the website. It looks pretty similar. I think the spacing is a little bit off. So if we change the amount of spacing between them by changing the items per row, we can speed it up a little bit. A little bit more of space between. It's nicer. So there we have our scrolling part. I do think because of the font, the spacing on top is more than on the bottom. Let's see if we can change that by just changing the height. But then it also cuts off the letters, and that's something we don't want. So it's a little bit dirty, but hey, it gets the job done. We can add a negative spacing. I guess it doesn't work in this case. See if it works here. I don't know how much this actually is. So what we also can do is just add a spacing to the bottom right. Not the bottom right, but to the bottom right. So let's slider, and let's have a slider spacing of 3M. This is a little bit of guesswork. we can make it less guesswork. We just this on one side and that one on the other side. So there we go. Then we need to have our dev tools. Eight, 7. I think 7.7 would make sense. Let's see. Let's change that one to 0.7. Now we have this next section in there. Now we're going to do a little bit of magic because we want this wrapper to be on top of this one. So it is getting a position absolute, which is found in the fonts section. Position absolute 0. And now it is on top. But it must not be visible at first. So we could change the opacity. And set one to 0. And then we can set a hover on parent. And then the opacity will be 1. Let's see what happens. That looks working nice, but it also breaks something. Doesn't the slider like to be hidden? That remove slides only from these buttons or from toolbar. Oh, luckily I did it the right way. But the hover effect is working. It's unfortunate that's on all over the whole section. And Eindhoven is not nicely aligned to the center. So we need to make sure that they are the same height. I don't know if I changed this one. It is Colossus. So we set this one to Colossus as well. And that is already the case. The line height is also the same. So I guess we added the spacing to the bottom. By the spacing of 0.7 EM. That will already help us out a little bit. 0.7. But I guess it's still not centered because, yeah, you see, more aligned to the top. So we need to add a spacing to the top as well. Change that one to EM instead of pixels. It's too much. Let's save, set 0.2. That looks fine. Centerish, right? And let's see, why doesn't this slide work right now? If we change back the animation, set all transformations, will it work again? It doesn't. Ooh, something happened. Did I break it? Here it does work. Doesn't it like to change some things. Because this one now also doesn't work. Could it be it is the container that we changed? That Gutenberg is now not liking. We added a padding to the bottom of 0.7 EM. And the background color was blue. Not working again. But it is working here. So now we have to set our position to be 0 and hit save. Let's see if it still is working. So is it a positioning issue? I guess so. So then we change our position of the Eindhoven section to be absolute. I mean, if it doesn't work one way, it will work the other way, right? There we go. It's underneath there. And then we added a initial opacity of 0, and we added a opacity of 1 when its parent class is hovered. And when we refresh, there we go. And now we have alignment issues because this won't work. And we have to... Do we have to do this kind of thing? Like 50% and then have a translation layer and shift minus 50. Oh, the x-axis. So minus 50%, and now it is centered. There we go, and if we now save it, looks pretty similar, right? We see that the spacing is a little bit off, so let's change that one. .6. And if we look into the hover effect here, it does have some nicer animations, you see? And the hover is over, it will transition in from the bottom. So let's try to add that effect as well. So when we transition shift 100% and on hover it will shift 0. So there now is a transition, and let's add a spacing of hidden. Then it will look like it's coming in from there. And this is an issue with the padding we have, because we've added a padding to the bottom of the text. So we need to change that one to not have a padding, and add to the container a margin. So we want the spacing to be outside. EM of 0.7. I guess we need to play around more with the values. Did we change these? 0, 0 bottom, and also this spacing, yes, can be removed. Control spacing, save. That looks better. Now, is it possible to disable some of the effects happening? For instance, the opacity. It doesn't need any transitioning. But I guess it's fine. And let's add a delay for this one. We can just do the same. Start at... how did we do it again? I forgot. Shift 100%. So here we have a shift of 100%. And when it's hovered the parent, but it's not that parent, we want to have the same parent as this one. So that one. And this one is hovered. The percentage should be 0 and 100. And there should be a slight delay. Let's see. This is the time it takes. Can we add a delay? Should be, right? Transition delay. I don't know if this is seconds. I hope so for consistency's sake. There we go. Can be quicker. This one can be the same because the timing can be the same for the hover. Only the transition needs to change. It needs to be delayed for a few seconds. Just not even a few seconds. Let's see what is happening. Yeah, that looks good. Without even very expensive transitioning. Let's add. Oh, that's not what I want. Maybe 2 EM as a margin. To add some spacing here. Guess it could be the same one as the other one. And that's why setting it is as a default. It makes sense that I don't have to add it here every time. But it's fine for now. 10 EM. So there's our second section. Awesome. And we can duplicate this one and then remove the spacing or decrease the spacing. And then change the text to what is a nice place, Amsterdam. I guess most of you would know that one, right? If you heard from the Netherlands. So there we have the second effect. Still, I'm curious why this one doesn't work. We can just add some dummies and then I will fill in later some extras. Now let's add this one. I think this one will be difficult without the animation add-on. The image is slightly at a different speed than the rest of the website, and this one as well. And that's very difficult to reproduce without any animation layers. So without any, without the animation add-on. This one feels a little bit smoother, right? And less spacing. Can we decrease the spacing? Let's see. To decrease the spacing, we need to add more items in a row. Have 0 spacing between them. Do we also need to change these spacing settings, slider settings? There's not a bunch of things we can change there. So if we want to have it like that, then we need to change it in here. Spacing between 0. Guess 0, it's a null value, so you have to put something there. Save. Seems like the spacing can't be less than less than this. And if we increase the size, oh, we're doing that for the Amsterdam one. So that's why I didn't see it reflected. No, we can't change the size because of the cutoff. It would be nice if it works differently, right? Right, group ground. I don't know what this does. Let's just group them together or something. And I should change the values in here as well. So there we have another section done. Let's see if it works on small screens as well. It works pretty nice. Guess we have to play around with the values. As you can see. Oh, that's from OBS. It doesn't look this good. And this one also needs to change on mobile. But on desktop, on a very big screen as mine, it does look good. So let's see if we can continue to the next section. As I stated, yeah, the animation with the images, I can't reproduce that without the animation add-on. So I will install it for next week, and then we'll add the images in there. Here are just 2 images, so we can create a section as well pretty easily. Duplicate just a few times. Maybe we can add even less spacing, 0.5, maybe none. Hit save. Let's see. Yeah, this looks better. Our version just does respond on the whole section. Could we change that? I guess we could. Then we have to set it with a hover, different hover effect. But let's continue with the next section. Have everything in there and then improve it on the other section, other session. So let's add a CSS grid of containers and just the next section is just 2 images, right? Container, wrapper, and the we add a image. And then we choose one from a library, like this one. And add afterwards. Also an image from the library. Let's pick this one. Select. Then in the container, we want it to be, can be Flexbox, can be CSS Grid. I think I love working with CSS Grid. Then we set the rows to be auto and the columns to be 1FR, 2FR. Yeah, looks a little bit the same. And then let's add a gap of a few EMs. And let's just copy and paste style attributes to make it grayscale. We could also improve this one actually. Can we? Then we need to make it responsive. So let's just keep it as is for now. One that doesn't need to be custom. It needs to be EM. To EM. So another section done. And also, if we have the animation for this section, we can just copy and paste the effects to these one as well. So I hope I can make them work off stream. Yeah, I'll leave this one. On the next section, we have our theme. So this will be the same one as our story. So let's just grab that one. I do recommend to make it responsive first and then copy and pasting it, because that will make your life easier. But hey, I just want to get those things in. Our theme. And let's change our story. Let's see what kind of call to action they have for their buttons. View our story. View our story. View our theme. Let's use Zimmwriter again. Write a paragraph in Dr. Seuss style about subscribing, if you haven't already, and find this useful. Subscribing to Teggy's review for more amazing Greenshift tutorials. Well, that's very nice. Let's see, just hit subscribe. let's make it a highlight as well in the color of white, and the background needs to be blue. Would be nice if we can change the highlights even more, right? That you can add some padding as well. I mean, you can change some values in the highlights, but not in here. Ah, that's fine. So now let's see what's the next section. Whoa. Candidate conviction, and there are 3 paragraphs there. So add after, we add a CSS grid again. Those are just my favorite tools. With CSS grid, you can do anything. But sometimes a Flexbox is good enough. Actually, for this one, Flexbox could be used very easy and it's already responsive, if I recall correctly. But then we need to change the, what's it called, border at the bottom. So we need to change some values at all. So it doesn't really matter. And let's see, we add a advanced text. What did they put there? Candid conviction. Amazing Greenshift. Then we change our, I guess this is also the different font, right? So we need to change to Argivo and change the font size to be large, big, small. Navigating, and instead of an icon, I will add my logo with the inline image. How can I align this text now to the center? Would be nice if that would be possible, right? But yeah, we can make it as small as we would like to. Now it's fitting in line. And let's add 2 text blocks. We can just copy the style attributes and paste it there. Duplicate this one, put it there as well. Now I don't want it to have a text indent, so we can remove those. Right about how amazing Greenshift is in the same amount of words as this one. The section below. So there we have our 3-column layout. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. This is how far we got today. So that's nice. We could do a lot of things. I am very happy with how this turned out. You can change the values and you can change the settings, but this just looks awesome right now, if you ask me. And without any interaction layers or difficult setup, just with a hover effect. Awesome. I am wondering why this image interaction layer doesn't work, so I will be doing that after this live stream. And we'll add these two as well. And here we have our next section. I see that there's still a enter there that I don't want. Needs to be a space. So that looks better. And there's another one with book. Subscribe. And I will add, of course, my subscribe. See how it looks. And let's add a link. And there we go. Now, I think I'm done for today. So we've managed to add the images, to also have the contrast. We tried to use the interaction layer, but that didn't work this time. Let's see if I can do it off screen and if it does work. Here we have also added a 2-column grid layout with the text-indent CSS, which isn't available in Greenshift by default, but yeah, you can add it yourselves, right? So it's not that difficult to do. In the next part, we added all the cities, and because I live in the Netherlands, I will be putting there the cities of the Netherlands that are famous, and I'm living in Eindhoven, so that's the first one I need to add, with the landmarks like the Evalu one, the Admirant, Stripe S. And here's another image section. Here's another section with for our theme, and the last section we have added today. And that's what we actually did. So yeah, that's it. That's it for this live stream. Thank you for watching. I really loved working on this and experimenting on how to make things. I do this live stream so you see me struggle, so you know you're not the only one having the struggle with creating a website. It's just what is, right? So I hope you had fun. I hope you find it at least inspiring and try to recreate it yourself as well. And catch you on the next one. See ya.